The troubles brewing, for there was talk of war. England and France were already at war, and they were both capturing American ships. Because America was neutral, they didn't want Americans supplying the enemy. My husband, because he wanted to keep the peace, had instituted embargoes. But the embargoes were hurting the Americans as much as they were the English and the French. So people were screaming, and there was a group that was clamoring for war. Some wanted us to declare war against England, some against France, and others against both. Well, as my husband was nearing the end of his first term, Henry Clay, on behalf of a group of what we call the War Hawks, approached my husband and he said, "Mr. President, we will back you for a second term if you will agree to declare war." Well, my husband knew that he was a constitutional scholar, not a military expert. His Secretary of War was too old for the job, and the country had virtually no trained forces and very few boats, and he expected a war at sea. So he knew we were terribly ill-prepared, but he also knew if he was going to have any chance of being elected, he had to comply, and the embargoes clearly weren't working. So on June 12th of 1812, he sent a letter to Congress urging them to declare war, and on June 18th, the United States declared war against England. By this time, England had already defeated France. So we were at war. Now, despite the ill-preparedness of the country, we did enjoy some victories in the beginning. And with every victory, I made sure we celebrated with bonfires and parties. On one 4th of July, I was handed the flag and I held it to my breast. I was so proud of my country that my face flushed. And the ladies noted that because my color ebbed and flowed, it must be natural, and I couldn't possibly be wearing rouge.